Hello, colleagues. Welcome back to For the Lore. I am Alex.
I'm Ben.
And we are here to hold a brief conference on the pilot episode of Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
I thought it was a solid episode. Good mix of action and story.
Not action.
Not action.
Yeah, right off the bat there was, all that action flying around stuff, which I was like, oh, we're going right into that. I really wasn't expecting a lot of action in this episode.
I'd say that's the best time we've seen Falcon do his thing.
Yeah, it's sort of strange because it was like, the beginning of Captain America the Winter Soldier vibe, like fighting that same French guy.
Yeah.
But except it's with all the sky stuff instead of on a boat.
Yeah, and I love seeing Falcon's mini-con do all that it can do now.
A Red Wing?
Red Wing, which is such a mini-con name.
That's so funny. Like, it was solid. I really like seeing, like, the getting into their lives, how they are right now, and seeing, like, the Sam Wilson doing his thing in New Orleans, which is very Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
And then you have Bucky, who is struggling through some hard stuff, through that therapy and everything.
And they totally played us with that Winter Soldier opening action sequence.
Awesome.
We got played. We were like, wait, what's happening? Wait, he's the Winter Soldier again? What's happening?
Yeah, I was like, he's still long hair. Okay, what? Yeah. I was like, the vibe. I was like, he looks possessed still.
Oh, okay. Obviously, it's a dream. We saw the trailer.
We saw the trailer. We knew he had a haircut.
There was at least a haircut involved.
Yeah. They were trying to save Captain Vincent from the military, I guess the U.S. military, because he's a liaison of some sort.
Mm-hmm.
And we see the return of Batroc, I guess his name is, the gentleman from Winter Soldier from the beginning.
Did you notice like a fish motif throughout this episode? Because Batroc says you were flopping like a fish to
Captain Vincent.
Captain Vincent says flopping like a fish. Then
there's the New Orleans scene.
New Orleans are
the
fishing.
first line is like,
and then also, and then
red
she
snap.
said, "Have you dated since half the fish came back to this?"
Ooh.
I don't know. Just noticing a little fishiness in that episode.
How fishy. We noticed during the episode the Falcon's, I guess, his tech, everything that he has there. I never really thought about it, and I don't know if it's ever really mentioned, but how does he have like this, this cool suit that he has? Because we had in the first film we see him in Captain America the Winter Soldier, he has that prototype. Pretty sure the next time we see him is in Age of Ultron. Like at the end, he has his new suit, in just that one team.
And it's not even Stark technology, or it turns into Stark technology.
Right. So there was that line that was after all the action with Torres guy who was like sick ass Stark level tech.
Stark level tech. Yeah. So it is Stark.
Is
tech?
it Stark level? Like it's the same level of tech, or is it actually Stark tech?
Mm-hmm.
Did Stark help create the new version of that suit? And then the other big thing is, it seems like, why does it, clearly this works, why doesn't the military have this?
A fleet of Falcons rather than just one singular Falcon. It's not like he's a super soldier. It's not like he's special in any great regard.
Right.
I mean,
other than he was close with Cap.
Right.
So,
obviously, it's a
Avenger.
Cap. He's very special as a person and as a human and an individual. But powers-wise, he just has a nice, fancy flying suit, which a lot of soldiers could probably use in the military.
It did really make me think about one of the whole plots of Iron Man 2, which was like, why aren't we making these Iron Man suits for everyone else? We can do this for the military and all that stuff, even though Stark kind of wanted to stop making tech for that reason, though he continued to make a bunch of crazy crap anyway.
Yeah.
But why can't they make that kind of stuff for the military, right? And maybe that'll be part of the plot of Armor Wars. We had Don Cheadle appear in this episode. We know he's going to be one of the
That's true, yeah.
stars of that program.
Aren't you Don Cheadle? And play the clip, Carl.
There's no one here named Carl.
What the hell is happening?
Aren't you Don Cheadle?
Speaking of military, I didn't actually write this down, but it's been a whole thing, a whole talking point for a little while now that the MCU and Marvel sort of partners with the military, and the military says how they can use them within these films, and a lot of people argue about it being military propaganda. And you have a lot of stands on Twitter going it doesn't make any sense, they don't represent them a certain way, blah blah blah. But when you really look at it, it's just a lot of the stuff the Avengers are with the military, they're part of, they're almost one and the same, so that's kind of saying a certain thing about them, which is really interesting. So I'm really interested to see how the conversation continues about that kind of thing. Captain America's whole thing, I mean, he is a military man, right? Like, he's a soldier. That's his number one thing. The first one is a war movie. So, you know, it's sort of hard to separate those two things.
Yeah, yet they go against the military, so that's a whole complicated
It's like,
thing.
yeah, there's a lot of times where they'll say go against the military. Yeah, but it's really interesting because they need to get approval. Like, they do work together. I'm pretty sure that's, like, a thing. Why were the LAF people, why were they flying squirrels? What was up with that? Their suits, they just were like...
Emolga!
Literally. Like, is exactly what I thought. And they were also seemed to be just as fast as Falcon. I'm like, he has a jetpack and y'all are literally just like... Oh, the whole like... Oh, so did you bring Captain America to a secret moon base and he's overwatching Earth, which is like... No, that'd be silly for Captain America, but it's funny because we know there's a secret base up in the...
Yeah. And don't exactly know where Cap is.
Right. It's really interesting. We don't. They almost imply that, like, you know, they're saying he's gone, but they don't say he's dead. We are not necessarily seeing a funeral or anything like that. We just understand that Steve Rogers is gone. Whether that means, you know, he came as an old man and then the thought that old Cap stayed in that timeline, but maybe he just came through as like, yo, you're Captain America now, and then dicked off back to Pegster. You know, Rhodey's clearly disappointed during that speech. He's like, he's turning down that role right now. What's he doing? Why is he doing that? What's up, man? What's up, dude?
Yeah.
Bucky reminds me of Anakin Skywalker. The way he was like choking that guy and was like, "Hail Hydra." I was just like,
yeah.
I was like, whoa. Almost that like kind
Vader
of
vibes
breathy,
to it.
kind of calm.
Yeah.
Hail Hydra. You know, I'm like, bruv. Huh.
Yeah.
Yeah,
definitely.
And the long hair and everything, the edginess. I'm like,
and the mask, heading into Vaderism.
And you know, he slaughtered all these, not just the men, but the women and children too,
and the intern,
especially the children.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. So I believe also during that scene before with Sam and Rhodey, I think he said it's been like 6 months that I've been working with the Air Force now. So I think we're about 6 months after Endgame, which puts us in about, I want to say it's like March, April. So in that time, Bucky got a pardon for, you know, all of his stuff as the Winter Soldier. You know, I think they understand, like, yeah, you were being mind controlled and, you know, all that jazz. That, you know, that kind of sucks. We feel that. Making amends, so to speak, with you know, people, I guess, who have wronged him, or you know, he worked with as Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
And he has on this list, and we see that Zemo is on that list. So obviously, like, he has this list of people who like suck, but then you see that like he's also making amends. Maybe there's like 2 different lists. That's what we're not sure of. Is there 2 different lists? Is it one list and
it's
making amends in different ways? We see Anthony Mackie, Sam Wilson. He has family in Louisiana, New Orleans, Delacroix or something like that.
Yeah.
Which is really cool because that's where Anthony Mackie is from, and that, you know, it really brings a part of him into that role, which is...
It's the first time we saw like his like Anthony Mackie-ness in that role.
Very,
which is cool.
It's very cut the check vibe, you know?
Cut the check.
Cut the check. Cut the check. Cut the check. Cut the check. Cut the check. Cut the check. Cut the check. We're done.
Oh, so Bucky on the date. Yeah, the line where he's like 106 and she laughs and that smile, just a...
It's great acting. Yeah, I think like this show might convince me that he could play a Luke Skywalker someday.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are looking for that,
especially
you know?
After that Anakin parallel.
Yeah. It makes you think. We see some enhanced, perhaps enhanced. They imply, oh, do you think he could be? Unless they're faking us out with something, thinking like, oh, enhanced, but
like if they're the big bad of this show, I'm gonna kind of be like,
we know that Zemo is definitely part of this, and we know, and I mean also, I don't know if we necessarily need like a big bad.
It's
like,
more just a character development series, maybe.
Sort of, and also,
like,
I mean, just commentary on, you know, obviously there's gonna be this whole thing as like Sam Wilson as Captain America.
Right. It's
versus
more
the government,
of a social commentary rather than like a big like, because like these guys just faced off the biggest bad of all. No, like no one's like I was thinking about that during the whole Falcon fight. Like he's seen the worst. Like who are these like French terrorists to him? Like he's just like picking them off. Like it's just not really. He's gonna win. So like that's not really exciting. So I guess the exciting thing about this series might be the character development and social commentary.
Right, and if they're gonna do that sort of action, like I liked that Winter Soldier scene a lot. So the bank scene, whoa, man. So the first thing being like, don't I know you from somewhere? Like, did you play for LSU? Immediately like seeing him and thinking like, oh, do I know you from seeing you on like college football or something? Which is immediately like
racist
bro.
Flag,
right? Which obviously is super intentional.
Yeah.
We know where they're heading with this theme. Yeah. The economy actually probably crashed in some aspect because because I mean, like, the way everyone makes money, how does that even work after something like that happens? I mean, those are the things like they kind of scratch the surface of like, oh yeah, things were bad, but like I kind of want to get into the lore there, like how was the economy? Like, did it thrive because there were less people, so there was more to go around for everyone, just resource wise, or like did all the a bunch of businesses fail because like half the world disappeared, so now the way that people make money is entirely different. There aren't people coming to their businesses or whatever. I don't know. I guess it's very situational.
Right,
like,
it depends. Like if you stayed and your competition got blapped, then
the
blap, your competition got blapped, then you would be happy. But if not, then not. Yeah, I don't know.
He was like, yeah, I'm not going to throw away our family's legacy. He was saying, and for Cap, I guess so, like in the same way, like the ship is a symbol. It's a memorial for his parents, as the shield is a memorial, it's for Cap.
Yeah. And some other guy had no problem swooping in there and taking it.
Yeah, so we see that last part on WHIH News, which has been in the MCU. Then we've got some clips out there. You could search it on the YouTube. So we are introduced to John Walker, the U.S. agent. And so we don't know much about him, but I get the feeling. I wonder, did they give him super soldier serum?
Yeah, we did see that little picture in the credits of serum.
Yeah.
He's gonna. I have a feeling he's gonna have to face off against Falcon at some point. I don't think you can really do that unless you have serum. That sweet serum. Clearly, an act of racism.
Right. I mean that's what so much of this series is going to be about. I'm sure is one of the big things they're going to touch on. And I think by the end of the series, I predict Sam will take on the role. He'll realize like, yes, I understand now. But yeah, I don't think they're going to give him super soldier serum. I wouldn't want him to. I want it to be like, this is who he is. Anthony Mackie and Sebastian Stan were saying this in some interviews before, the launch today, saying like a lot of this is advertised as like, a lot of people think of it as, a post-blip sort, like how are they dealing after the blip? But for them, it's really how are we doing in a post-Steve Rogers world?
True.
Because for them, we've pretty much only seen them in the context of Steve Rogers and their relationships with him. But now it's like, all right, well, who are these people as individuals, and how do they cope without one of their strongest connections? Which is really cool. And honestly, like this episode really did it for me. I was happy with it. By the end, I was like, damn, that went by so quick, even though this was like one of the longest, episodes we've gotten, in comparison to WandaVision.
Marvel TV so far, yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing some more action. I'm looking forward to see what the deal is with John Walker, our new Captain America. I want to see some Zemo, see what's up with him and his new mask, his comic book accurate mask, and Sharon Carter. Thank you for joining us today. In this very important conference.
Very important.
We'd love to hear your thoughts, so please leave your feedback in the comments.
We couldn't do it without very important colleagues like yourself.
Me and my associate are very grateful, so if you could like the video and subscribe for more content.
To join us in the next conference room for the lore.
I'm Tarzan.